Welcome to Grosvenor Square, where the Spanish Inquisition have been interviewing members of the public to find out their opinions on the nature of the special relationship and how it has evolved over time. Having interviewed people of different nationalities, gender and age, we hope to have gained a range of opinions that will complement our own primary and secondary research. First up, we began by asking people what exactly the special relationship means to them.
I would say it probably means that you can ask favours to the government, especially.
We help you, you help us, so there's some sharing of information.
So like mutually beneficial?
Gosh, I don't know, I guess I just telling my girls there's a statue of President Roosevelt behind the scene, and he supported the British when other countries weren't during the war, and we eventually joined the war to kind of help the effort here in Europe. But it just seems like there's always, we help each other out, whatever the crisis.
Special relationship. But the understanding is just that, the relationship goes quite deep. And the special relationship is that there's an unsaid code that happens between our two governments. I think we have an aligned kind of perspective on a lot of topics that are facing the world in terms of issues that are facing around the world. In terms of crisis.
I think it's understanding of the cultures, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. So cultural values.
Yeah.
You haven't got anything for a remedial group?
Clearly, the special relationship is a very loosely defined term, but most focused on our joint response to crises, sharing of resources, cultural ties, and the role of statesmen in forming close personal bonds. We then aim to find out if the public still considered the USA to be as closely tied to Britain as it was during the past.
Who would you consider the UK's closest ally? I would say America.
Yeah, the US, I would.
Probably the Americans.
Yeah, which nation?
Closest allies, yes, probably the States. Well, sorry, I'm answering for
Who do you consider the US's closest ally?
UK, British.
If the UK and America represent the West, period. I mean, maybe Australia, Canada are kind of peripheral nations.
Having heard definitions of the special relationship and widespread agreement that the USA and the UK are each other's closest allies, we asked people how healthy they considered the special relationship to be at this moment in time.
I think they're strong and healthy, for the most part. Not always perfect, but...
Depends. It's a good relationship. I think it's important to have close ties with a big country.
It's fairly positive and healthy when we make joint decisions.
You can answer as elaborately as you tolerable. In what way tolerable?
Well, we don't always agree with what they do, but on the other hand, I think they are our closest friends.
Well, in one word, deteriorating.
Deteriorating. Can I ask why that is?
I don't know. I mean, I just sense it from the locals here in London. I mean, they seem not to like Americans.
Right.
I mean, there's that dislike, animosity. I think it's a little jealousy, personally. Because now they are the great empire, and this one is descending.
Yeah.
Whilst most feedback remained positive, the last two interviewees consider the relationship to be strained and declining in strength. What was once the closest of friendships was seen to be fading. Why is this? One possibility that we considered is that, with the rising importance of the EU, diplomatic focus has switched from the Atlantic to the continent. Would members of the public agree? And who do they consider to be more important to the UK's future?
Europe is a different animal.
Yeah.
Completely. To me, the European community has different values than the West.
Would you say we're closer to the European community than we are to America?
Well, it's getting close. It's going that way.
It's going to have much choice.
Currently, it will be the EU. I think our economies are more closely tied at the present time.
Whilst people saw the growing economic role of the EU as more important to our future than the US, it is worth noting analysts often stress how Britain's influence in the EU is one of our key ways of contributing to the special relationship. So what other factors of influence change? The role of leaders is one possibility.
So I mean, there's quite a lot of debate over Obama's sort of policy towards the UK. Some people think he's really keen on close relations. Some people think he's sort of trying to pull the US away from the UK. So do you think that's something that's been a key feature of his presidency? Do you think his presidency has really impacted US-UK relations?
Well, I mean, yeah, maybe.
You think
Because, he's not even friends with Israel. I mean, he wants to be everybody's friend, and you know how that goes with people. The same thing with people. You can't be a people pleaser because, you gotta stand for what you believe.
Our interviewees have given their definition of the special relationship, how it originated, how strong it is today, and what factors have influenced its evolution. But we also wanted to find out if they saw any parallels between this and the material surroundings of Grosvenor Square. So we asked people what they thought the various monuments of Grosvenor Square might represent.
Maybe the U.S. relations with Great Britain.
So do you think it sort of demonstrates anything that the statues of such powerful presidents are here in London?
Yeah, it's probably a testimony of the strength of the relationship between the UK and
We've raised the price we pay for life.
Well, that's a really nice picture.
Yeah. So that's what we think.
What do you think it represents, the various monuments? What do they kind of...
America, this is American embassies there, and
do you think
I think you've honored a lot of the great leaders. You know the story about Roosevelt, Franklin, and Churchill. Big players in the war.
A key theme that stands out is that the statues act as a reminder of the role of individuals, and this tallies with our own research. But more than that, these interviews underlined our conclusion that, despite going through periods of change, the special relationship has stayed strong since World War II. Our interviewees understood the growing economic importance of the EU and the challenge the special relationship faces, but insisted that America is still our closest ally, thanks to cultural similarities, shared values and goals, the guarantee of support during crises, and the personal friendship of our leaders. In the words of American Ambassador Douglas in 1948, Grosvenor Square is symbolic of a unity of purpose that no superficial difference can corrupt. Thank you for watching.